Hello, I'm Sam from Sound on Sound magazine. I'm here at the Superbooth show in Berlin. I'm very pleased to be joined by Konstantin from TipTop Buchla. Welcome,
Hello.
Konstantin.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. Considering early hours, it's all fine.
I know, I'm sorry for getting you up so
right,
early in the morning. But we simply had to come and look at your products. What have you got to show?
Well, we have the same 5 Buchla modules, TipTop Buchla modules from last year, but we have as you might know, we already have released the oscillator and the function generator. Now we are going to release the 5-stage sequencer, or as I call it, like a 5-stages sequential memory bank, analog memory bank. It's more in line with what it can do than you wouldn't normally sequence compositions with 5 steps. It's ridiculous. But it has incredible features like stage addressing, and it's actually quite weird behavior, replicated, of course, as Don intended, for it to be a strange device. So it's not as straightforward as a normal step sequencer. So flipping switches that activates the stages can create certain anomalies, and this is what Buchla, Mr. Don Buchla, created, and that's what we recreated. So the model 245 is ready for shipping. I think we just have to wait a little bit for certain things to happen. I don't know. I think the knobs are still not there, but it's actually, design is finalized, it's all done, and it's working. It's been tested, and nobody managed to break it again. So
sounds good.
Yeah. The second module that will be released now, in this, like a second stage of releases, is the voltage processor, model 257. It's extremely useful module for processing voltages. Especially in Buchla world, you really need to scale, offset, and modify your control voltages, because it's very organic instrument, and you have to have a control over a lot of aspects of it. It's not just like a normal East Coast. You turn a knob, and that's where it is, and that's how it sounds. Here, you need to have a little bit of a possibility to scale things, because not. As you might know, original Buchla was designed with a total separation between control voltages and audio signals, and here it's not the case. We can use Buchla for the first time in history probably to control, let's say, to do audio rate modulation with audio signals. And audio signals are bipolar, and all control voltages in Buchla systems are unipolar. So to have a possibility to offset unipolar signals down and create bipolar signals from them is extremely important, because here we have something that original Buchla users will never have.
So this is in some ways a way to get the Buchla world to talk to the rest of the world.
Well, like in the sense of using a synthesizer in a studio, you can use a Buchla with anything, but as a patching philosophy in Eurorack is really different from Buchla philosophy. It's not just about stacking cables, or it's more about combining different signals. For whatever reason, Don decided to separate those two, and Eurorack is not following this philosophy. So in Eurorack you can take an oscillator and control, let's say, a FM frequency modulation of a filter. You cannot do this in Buchla, because there is no way to patch an audio signal into the control voltage input. And because this is a Eurorack format, we can do it, and we have to be able to achieve this, and the voltage processor actually helps a lot with this.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, and those two modules will be released shortly, soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but I would say, nowadays it's very hard to predict, because the supply chain is really not stable. But I would say, if everything goes well, beginning of summer, so quite soon. And one last important thing, our vactrols, our in-house custom-made vactrols. We make them ourselves already. We already tested. And actually, I've sold all my other all-pass gate when I've heard the demos. They sound incredible. I still don't have one, but I'm really looking forward to getting it. It's those vactrols are really selected, hand-selected, and according to the sound of original Buchla. So there will be a lot of vactrols will just go away. So we'll only use the ones that are perfect for this. And more importantly, we have full control over the production. We are not basically in the mercy of some suppliers that can, let's say, sell you tons of vactrols and they will all be too short or too long or not, or light leakage or something like this. We really made a huge effort to create our own little enclosures. We really build them ourselves. So that's a really good news, I think. And finally, a true Buchla low-pass gate will be available for Eurorack users.
So for those of us not familiar with this concept, what is a low-pass gate?
A low-pass gate is a really interesting concept. It's a vactrol-based, basically, in a simple term, a light bulb, like an optocompressor, opto-element, which controls the amplitude. So it's a kind of sluggish, slow VCA coupled with a low-pass filter. So the moment it receives the voltage, it opens up a low-pass filter and the VCA, the vactrol-based VCA. Because of the optocoupling of the light, natural property of the light, the sound that it creates, the amplitude, the change in amplitude, the way it evolves, is actually very organic. So this is how the famous Buchla bongos were created. It's just you ping a low-pass gate, you have to just knock it and it opens up and closes down in a very, very naturalistic way. So just like a hand drum, for example. So this is quite a special thing. It's not easy to achieve. It's only possible with active designs. Like passive designs are not really true low-pass gates. So the problem with light and LEDs, they're all very different. There's not really like, it's not like a modern resistor you take and it's like a 0.1% tolerance. It's really like 70% tolerance. So people have to put a lot of effort to create something that is consistent. And in modern world, consistency is kind of, we are used to it, so people expect things to be consistent. I mean, of course, it's not exactly perfect every time, but the difference is small considering the vast range of possible tolerance issues. Yeah.
Wow, well thanks Konstantin. It's great to see Don Buchla's legacy living on in the Eurorack world.
I'm
like
really
this.
happy for that, and it's for me personally, I'm not a rich person, and it's really sad for me to see amazing instruments only available for really rich people, or for museums which are not really kind of, it's not an institution that you can go and freely create. You can just look at it, kind of appreciate it, but not really use it. And this is a really good option for people with, I mean, it won't break the bank, that's for sure. Anybody, really anybody, even not the most rich country, can save a bit and afford a real true Buchla sound.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's one more thing on the TipTop proper front. We have, unfortunately it's not here, but we have a black system ready with a black mantis case, just like that, but in black. That's another, for people who like their Gothic style in a synthesizer, you can have it now.
What could be better than a goth synthesizer?
I don't know, pink one?
Well, that's a thought.
I would like a pink one.
Well, next year maybe a pink one.
Yeah, but black, many people like black, so well, why not?
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Konstantin.
Absolutely.
Have a great show.
Thank you for coming.